Madam Speaker, I'm glad that you've set the record straight. I know the ones that are coming for the first time sometimes are a bit resentful when we consider ranking, but they will appreciate it when they will come for their second term, because I can see people here coming back for their second terms. So when they do come for the second term, you will appreciate when a new member is given priority over you. There's something that goes with ranking. Even in the legal profession, it's there. And that's why you always hear the substantive speaker sometimes putting us in our places when we purport to know too much and they say, I'm your senior legally. Everybody knows that. Madam Speaker, I also want to say that this is testament of the fact that being nominated is actually not bad. Honorable Mayaka and Crystal Asige are nominated members, and they are doing this excellent work. And Madam Speaker, even I started as a nominated member, here serving my 4th term. Cecily Mbarire started as a nominated member, is now a governor. So there's really nothing wrong with a person being nominated. And even Honorable John Mbadi served this term, actually not last term, as a nominated member. Now he's a cabinet secretary. But I don't know why people have this perception that they were talking about nomination, that it's just about women. But I want to congratulate them that they have understood their purpose as nominated members, and they are doing very well. Madam Speaker, I want to say that this bill also talks of something that is very close to my heart, which is entrepreneurship and innovation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm the founder of the Maiden Institute of Leadership, Law, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which is the Millie Institute. And under the Millie Institute, it has divisions. And one of the divisions is innovation, and the other division is entrepreneurship, Madam Speaker. And the reason that I founded this was because I know innovation and entrepreneurship is the future of this nation. Madam Speaker, because of lack of formal government jobs, and because of the challenges that we are facing as a country, the young people can rely on this area powered by technology, not only to create jobs for themselves, but to create jobs for others. So when you provide a framework like this, it is actually good for our young people. Madam Speaker, due to an existing legal framework, or lack of an existing legal framework, you can see that our bright Kenyans are misusing their brains. Only this week, you have seen that some Kenyans hacked systems and were part of a group that stole I don't know how many billions of shillings. Can you imagine if the brains used to steal billions were used to create jobs? But because we lack that framework, where they have tax holidays and other incentives, then the only other options they think they have is to steal. But that is why we need to create this framework to enable them use their thoughts well. Madam Speaker, I will bring an amendment to give awards to the people with innovative ideas that offer solutions in society. For instance, Madam Speaker, I think it was in the last parliament when I attended the World Bank, the annual World Bank meeting in DC. And if there was one thing that has been over-celebrated, it is M-Pesa. And Kenya is always celebrated, not only M-Pesa, but other technologies. I was talking recently to a group that I was training online, and it's a group of Kenyans. And because we currently feel that the country is facing so many challenges, sometimes we speak like we are in a dungeon. Yes, we are facing a lot of challenges as a country, and we must acknowledge that. But there are also very good things that are coming out of this country. And one of those things that is coming out of this country, or has come out of this country, is M-Pesa. But Madam Speaker, I would want to encourage Safaricom, that I know for legal purposes, they may not wish us to know who that innovator is, because then they don't want that person challenging, because I know the person was supposed to have actually gone to court, I think, to sue M-Pesa. But I would want to encourage them really from a moral perspective. Let us know who that person is. Let us celebrate him as a country, because he has actually created something unique, not for Kenya, but to the whole world, that everybody is replicating in the whole world. But because we don't celebrate our own when they do such good things, that's why you see them using it for wrong purposes. I would, by the same stroke, actually request that Parliament considers forwarding the names of the movers of this bill for an award, a presidential award, because they've done an excellent job. I would want to request that we consider Irene Mayaka and Crystal Asige for presidential award for this excellent work. Madam Speaker, I also just want to say that the other challenge that I had concerns with, but I've noticed is in the bill, is the issue of intellectual property rights. That a lot of our young people come up with very good ideas, but because they don't have the resources, they go to people with that knowledge or with the resources, and the people they go to steal. So if we have intellectual property rights, a strong intellectual property rights framework, it will cover them. And that's why the bill is seeking an amendment to the Science and Technology Act to ensure that that is done. One of the things that I would want the bill to we like taking advantage of good things that you'll discover. Maybe we've said, I don't know how much you are saying a startup is worth. Maybe it's up to something up to 2 million annually or 5 million annually. Honorable Mayaka will inform me. But in Kenya, you may move to maybe if it's 2 million and you move to 1 billion. But you will still find somebody considering themselves a startup. Mr. Speaker, it is the same challenge that I've seen that we are dealing with on issues that normally require affirmative action and marginalization that requires affirmative action. There are areas and certain categories where there has been intervention and no longer qualified to be considered as marginalized area. But because at the beginning they were marginalized, we keep calling them marginalized. Marginalization is not inherent by DNA. It is because of human activity. There are areas, like I know the speakers, your home area was marginalized for a long time. I know the area where I come from was marginalized for a long time because of political reasons. But Mr. Speaker, if there is intervention in some of those areas and there is a change, we can't say we are marginalized for life. There must be a criteria to show that this has stopped being marginalized and now it is, you know, like at par with the rest of the country. The same way with affirmative action, even for women in this house. Many of us pushed for a sunset clause so that you don't have affirmative action for life. We are hoping that there will come a time that people will have normalized the election of women. I will give you an example that when I first came into this parliament and we came in nominated with people like Honorable Sophia Abdi Nur, Honorable Amina Abdallah, and others, Honorable Rachel Shebesh. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that people don't talk too much about is the fact that in those areas we come from, no woman has ever been elected. Mr. Speaker, I am the second Suba woman in the Kenya National Assembly. The first one was Josephine Sinyo, who was nominated. And I also came in nominated. This is the first time a Suba woman has been elected to this house. Honorable Sophia Abdi Nur, I'm told in 1997, she vied and she actually succeeded on the ground. But a delegation was sent to President Moi and he was told you cannot elect a woman. And a certificate was cancelled. But after her nomination, she was then elected. And I can tell you everywhere, the Maasais, Lamu, all the areas that would not really nominate women before can now elect women. Why? Because there's affirmative action. We have not yet reached the percentage we need. But once we reach that percentage, then affirmative action must be out of the books. And in a similar manner, Mr. Speaker, there must be a sunset clause for a startup. Otherwise, we'll abuse it. Once again, congratulations to the two of you for an excellent bill.
What was the affirmative action you got in your elections yourself? I mean, other than the time when you got nominated, where many men do get nominated, but did you get any undue advantage of